trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was me doppelganger." It can only. I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's again, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, "Well, you pack it in." And he's going, what are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would be like if there was two cars.
Yeah,
he was having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still. That is officially the most stupid thing. If the Guinness World Records, has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than "How would I know which one was me?"
But does this mean though that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on?
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then.
Well, you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little, again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? Just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? Like normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, we're trying to get more cerebral now in this podcast. There's a lot of science here, real science. Maybe we should call it a spodcast. Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right because I don't know anyone who's ever got this right. The pressure is. One, asking sensible questions, and when I've told you the answer, to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so, there's two doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven,
right.
One leads to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, they're identical, you can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's two guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what? One to both?
No. One to either of them. You don't know which one's which though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
because
not
the rules are you can only ask one. There aren't actually two doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. This is a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away, you cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. They're identical, the guards are identical, but the one guarding hell always tells a lie, and the one guarding heaven always tells the truth. What question do you ask?
Can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no keyhole
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah. What do you ask? What do you ask? What question do you ask? Come on, you've only got one. Quick, this is it.
So, they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling.
Yeah.
But one of them's not really smiling, really. He's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question, if you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah. Well, the one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. These things you know.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these two guys get on.
I'll give you a clue. They know who they are, and they know that the one guarding hell always tells a lie, and the one guarding heaven always tells the truth.
So I know that.
No, they know it as well. It doesn't really come down to this, Carl. This isn't what's going to happen when you die.
But when is this useful then?
Because it's a logical... Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
But there's no shame in not getting it. There's no shame in not getting it. It's a really hard one to get. I mean, the shame is the ridiculous questions you asked. And now I'm going to tell you the answer.
No, hang on, right, so you go up and you go,
Hang on, well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those two guys. Okay, right?
But we have to, well, me and Steve will decide which doors we're guarding, okay?
Right.
Look away, Carl.
Okay,
Right,
then.
so we've decided, okay? One of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right, I'll just say to you, Steve, I'll go, got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some posts for God here.
Well, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe a question's coming. You got some posts for God here, yeah?
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let him finish.
Is God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well, yes.
Do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
Look, lads, I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. It doesn't help. That doesn't help. Let me tell you the answer. You ask either one of us, you say, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? Then whatever they say is the door they're guarding. Because if you happen to ask the one guarding hell, right? I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven, because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so I'd say he'd say hell. So you know I'm guarding hell. If you ask Steve what door I was guarding, he'd tell the truth, right? So he'd say heaven, because he'd know I'd lie. So he's guarding heaven. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling though, isn't it? This is what life...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think, because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So...
They're identical.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is written it down. What?
That's the jingle there for Carl's Diary. Still a very popular feature on show 1/13. Here we are. Got a book sent to me called Freaks. It's a bit heavy, but it's got some interesting pictures in it. Read a bit about the two-headed nightingale. She/they was on tour in London years and years ago. It cost 2 shillings to have a front row seat. She/they had 2 heads/2 arms and 4 legs. They are called Siamese twins because the first twins that were born stuck together were Siamese. On one of the pictures they are playing chess against the doctor. That hardly seems fair.
2 heads are better than 1.
So it's 2 heads, 2 arms and 4 legs. That's just 2 women in one dress.
Yeah, that's 2 women with an arm missing.
Yeah. spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall, was that right?
We just got this flat, and you know, it's not a big flat, so I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right, which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and that. But what? No, just, you know.
What has he been doing with the mirror?
Well, it's just
why-
no, it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know, what do you mean, what do they do?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want?
no, I don't.
Experimental in what
What do you
way?
mean experimental?
I just mean, you know, they'd be doing stuff.
What?
Whatever they do.
Chemistry,
What?
on a chemistry set out, they were doing experiments, what?
No, just doing what.
Singing I Am What I Am and just checking out their
No, each
the
to their
dance
own. I'm
moves.
not having a go at anyone, but
What?
I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing. Which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying
having a
as
go
well.
at it.
because-
You're not
no,
st-
I'm not. I'm not. This is
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in the front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why are you thinking about what he's doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was I was going to take it down, and I thought, oh, it's a bit dangerous. This, you know, it could crack and
Because it's the
fall on
size
me.
of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall.
Right.
So like when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it,
Brilliant.
and it looks all right. You wouldn't know, what have you? But it means that I can't put any pictures up. That's all I'm saying. Because if I put a nail in,
And what don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept? Specifics?
just the way some people like, you know, the ones you've got where it's just like a block of colour on a bit of canvas. It's like, what's that? Just,
Abstract. It's just abstract. It's you know, it's vibrancy of colour. It's a, you know, an attack on the senses. Or it could be, there could be something in there that you might see. You might not see first time round, or it could be, you know.
yeah, but there's loads of stuff to look at without having to do that.
But
You've
that's
got
the point.
windows. I can understand if you had a cell and there's no windows and you want a bit of, and you've got like just a big block of.
But I was
Colour
explaining this to you, that the photograph where people before, you know, the art was photography. It was realistic, and you know, they had to make it look like the subject. But then when cameras came in, that's when people started doing surreal stuff. And
I understand that.
Otherwise, there was no point to it. They had to find a new way to represent things that photography couldn't do as such.
No,
So-
that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. Like, we'll just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but there's nothing wrong with like having a. We'll get. Don't invent cameras then. One or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, and then they go, "We've got to invent something else." Like the abstract thing. Why has someone gone? Oh, I can't have paintings anymore because.
Wasn't it the Dali going melting clocks and stuff? No.
I mean, the first one was alright when he did the first clock, but then all the time he's just like, oh, I'll draw something and it's got a melting clock on it. I'll do a sheep, put one of them on it.
Have you seen his lobster telephone?
That annoys me.
Why?
Because it's not, I mean, I think what annoyed me more with that is when I heard about how it happened, he had some artist mate round, right? And I don't know what happened. They were eating.
That's a hell of an anecdote.
No, but they were eating some food and what have you.
Yeah.
Lobsters?
And yeah, they were eating lobster.
Alright.
And
That's handy.
I don't know, the other artist, whoever it was, sort
Telephone?
of started saying, "Oh, you and your clocks and all that," right?
Brilliant.
And,
This didn't happen.
They
Yeah.
started arguing,
Yeah.
and he chucked some of the lobster.
Bollocks.
And it landed on the
It
phone.
bounced off his mate's head, went on the phone, and they both looked at each other like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And they brought out that phone as a bit of art. Things like that annoy me. Because
happen.
it was them just messing
That
about.
didn't happen.
Just telling you what I know. I saw his work. Each to their own, if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it.
Heaven forbid. Well, you know, as you mentioned in your diary, your favourite artist is Lowry, because you can look at them for ages and see someone different every time you look at it.
All I'm saying is, art should be there to tell a story, not just to have a splash of colour. We know colours out there, there's loads of colour. We don't need to be reminded of it.
But colour's part of our evolution, and so it does something to us. Just
Only-
like sounds,
Yeah, but I'm saying do a picture,
smells.
colour it in. Still use the colours, but draw something with it rather than just going bit of yellow, bit of red. Like that one you've got, just red and black. What's that meant to do?
Well, it does something.
What?
Well, I like it, I enjoy it, so it does something.
You have it then. I'm just saying, I prefer it if it was something.
And so you, and what, let me just get straight. You had a mirror on one wall, so you padded that wall,
It's just
and
sort
you
of
padded
it's
the
just,
others.
It's just sort of wallpaper on it.
Right.
Amazing.
And there's no other art in there.
Not
It's
allowed
just an empty cell.
Well, Suzanne likes some art. Just like Suzanne's not allowed to watch telly unless it's a favourite thing. Otherwise, she's got to talk to me about stuff. There's no art. There's no point. Just wallpaper.
I'm just saying, we've got three windows we can look out of.
Right.
Right? Stop looking at the walls. Look out the window.
Some new words have been introduced into the dictionary. Too many words. We should have some system where we can get rid of words if they aren't used a certain number of times.
Well, that we do.
They do die out, don't they, eventually?
Like what?
You don't have to use them.
No, but they don't, do they? They keep adding them. And I just worry about, this is the problem with, like, your head can only hold so much, can't it?
Yeah.
It all very well when Adam and Eve was knocking about. There's no history, they don't have to remember anything. All I'm saying is, fine, bring out a new word, but once you bring out a new one, bin another one. The dictionary is getting bigger and bigger, no one's keeping an eye on it.
I think they are.
They're not, they keep adding.
It doesn't grow. They don't just dig it up one day. It's got bigger. What have you done?
So you're
left it out.
You're happy for them to stick in iPod, let's say.
But we can pride ourselves on having more words in the English language than any other language. I think we've got twice as many as the second. I think maybe Russian. I'm not sure about that. I saw someone email us, but
we don't talk the most, so there's a lot of clutter there.
What do you mean we don't talk the most?
Well, you'd have to. You'd say
Nothing
that.
as expressive as the English language.
Yeah, no, because we've got a word for everything. I'm just saying that I don't use all these words that are coming out, and I just think, like I say, keep an eye on it. Some sort of, I don't know how it can be controlled.
But Shakespeare invented words. I think Shakespeare invented about 1,200 words.
Yeah, and we're probably still using a lot of his. So why do we keep sticking more in the pot?
Right.
Stop using loads of words.
People are panicking in New York about the snow they're getting. It's 2 foot deep. They're saying it's to do with global warming. I don't get it. 2 days ago they were saying the world's getting warmer and the ice is melting on one of the poles where the polar bears are. As long as we get snow on the world, does it matter where it goes? Read on the internet that heads are bigger now than they were years ago. Brains are getting bigger apparently. This is because we're being told too much information. We are told too much stuff about things that we wouldn't have known about years ago. You've just made that leap, haven't you? Presume maybe heads and brains are getting larger, but the fact that it's because there's too much information cramming in them.
Well, it is as time goes on, isn't it? It's that thing of we're being taught more and more every day. As the time goes on, something's happening every day. You've got to remember that.
No, you haven't.
You have. It's the same, like I said, with the Adam and Eve thing. They didn't have that much to remember. They come on the world, they go, what happened yesterday? Oh, not much.
Well, in the all-new Ricky Gervais show, there is no monkey news as such. That's going to come back, Carl. You've got to bring that back. But we're going to do something that we used to do on our local radio show called Rockbusters. Sounds a bit like Blockbusters, a television programme that used to be on television where they gave sort of real cryptic clues. Yours aren't cryptic clues. Yours are ridiculous. So explain Rockbusters.
Give out an initial of an artist or a band that are knocking about like now or ages ago. And I give a cryptic clue.
It's not a cryptic clue. Very rarely cryptic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's nonsense, but...
Well, as we once said, I think it is more accurately described a craptic clue.
Yeah.
Well...
Or what am I thinking?
Well, are you going to give an example, or will we just do them?
The classic example, of course, for me is a woman. She's an artist. The initials are WH. She was wandering around in Texas. She fell over. A part of her leg fell in a puddle. Wet Knee Houston.
That is the level.
That's what you're working with, people.
So it's going to give 3 of these. The first email that gets them all right, the first email we get, and it's timed, isn't it, emails, so we can know, that gets all these clues exactly right, can win, what, a signed photo of Carl?
Now that is exclusive. There are not very many. I don't think they even exist, do they? There are no signed photos of Carl, so this would be a collector's item.
Right. So, yeah, there's 3 different ones. When you send it in on email, podcast@rickygervais.com, just put in the subject thing like Rockbusters, so I know what I'm looking for. Right then, so 3 different clues for you to work on. First one.
Oh, shouldn't I do a jingle for this?
Please.
Okay. Oh, that sounds cryptic, Night Rockington!
Rockbusters.
Right, first one, the initial, right, is B.
The initial B, band
B,
or artist.
So, band or an artist beginning with the letter B. The cryptic clue. Well, I don't want a house that's that far away from the water. I want to be right on top of it. Right, that's the cryptic clue. Well, I don't want a house that far away from the water. I want to be right on top of it. Right? B, artist or band. Who is it? Right, work on that one. Second one, it's B again. B, letter B for the band or the artist. Alright. Cryptic clue, right? That part of my leg is English.
That's it, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
That part of my leg is English. Initial B. What is it? Part of my leg is English. And then the last one, KW, artist or band. And the cryptic clue, the fitness teacher has got a speech impediment. What's going on there? Right, KW, the fitness teacher has got a speech impediment. Work on them, right? Send in the answers, podcast@rickygervais.com, and just win some signed picture and that.
A signed picture of Carl Pilkington. Also, when you're sending in your answers, or indeed if you don't have the answers but you just want to get in touch, podcast@rickygervais.com. If you've got anything that you think might be of interest to Carl, we're looking for, as Ricky was giving him earlier, scientific facts, stories you've read about, anything which you think might just pique his interest, send them in, podcast@rickygervais.com.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the first episode of the all-new Ricky Gervais show.
Sounded very similar to the old one.
Yeah.
Why change a winning formula?
Why, exactly. And if you're missing the old ones, the complete archive of all our podcasts are available from next week.
Go to audible.com, find out how to get to it.
Absolutely.
For any of your queries and questions, go to rickygervais.com. That tells you where you need to go for any Ricky Gervais podcasts or the new shows. It's all there. That'll explain it.
So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais. Goodbye from Steve Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Carl Pilkington.
Alright.
Audible hopes you've enjoyed this program. This is Audible.
Welcome to number 2 in this second series of the Ricky Gervais show. With me, Ricky Gervais. Hello. Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington.
Alright.
Well, I've been away. I had a little bit of an express tour of America, LA and New York, and they're all talking about one thing out there. Carl Pilkington.
Really?
Yeah. I hooked up with the Simpsons lot. They all listen to it on their iPods. I went down to the American office to keep an eye on, things.
Yeah, check it.
Well, as we get money for old rope doing next to nothing, I thought I'd show my face.
Yeah.
They're big fans, Carl. I met up with Jason Bateman, Arrested Development, and he knows how stupid you are. David Letterman knows what an idiot you are. Mentioned on the Letterman show. I mean, unbelievable. David Bowie listens, and they're all listening to little Carl Pilkington. When I think of people like that, like pretty much geniuses in their field.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But when I think of Bowie listening to it, I still think of him as 26, dressed
He's dressed as Ziggy.
Yeah.
With a pair of those big 70s headphones.
Yeah, he's going, "Hey Mum, can you turn the TV down and listen to Pilkington?"
Absolutely.
I love his kooky outlook on life. And Christopher Guest. Now, Christopher Guest empathises with you a little bit, because obviously everyone else sort of knows how stupid you are and not understanding concepts like, you know, the infinite amount of monkeys. But he empathises with that because he thinks that sometimes he thinks that he sometimes doesn't understand concepts that seem obvious. I think he's being polite. I don't think you've got a lot in common with him, because he did all that other genius stuff. You know, what you did was do the washing up with your pants pulled down slightly. You know, it didn't have the same effect to say...
It's not as influential as Spinal Tap.
Oh, waiting for Guffman!
No. Unless people... maybe that's sweeping the nation now. Maybe if someone sees someone nude in a room opposite their house, they immediately get their cock out.
They go, genius. That's genius. Well, I did an appearance at the Oxonian Society in New York. It's a Princeton College run event, and they have, like, academics, artists, political figures. They have heads of industry. They had world leaders. They've had Princess Anne of Jordan, and there was a Q&A afterwards, and one of the questions was, is Monkey News coming back?
Yeah.
In that sort of forum. I mean, it's...
I believe they also asked that of Bill Clinton.
They did, yeah. Now, Carl, is Monkey News coming back?
I mean, maybe. It depends what goes on out there. It's going to be quiet, isn't it?
On the monkey front.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if they're aware or whatever that it's being covered, but it's just like, you know, there's no point. You can't make news, can you? All these news channels, that's the problem with it. They've committed to saying we're a news channel. You've got to find news. Well, don't do it like that.
Sure.
I'd say put something else on. If there's now what's going on
Cartoons.
in the world. Just...
Is there often no news in the world on the planet Earth with 6 billion people? Is there ever a day when they go, no, nothing?
But I'm just saying, the news is... what is it, about half an hour long?
There's news channels that are 24 hours. But yeah, you're thinking of one specific news programme that's on in your house.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's half an hour. How much of that?
No. Because I've told you that not all news programmes are half an hour by definition, but you go anyway, it's half an hour. Again, you didn't listen to me. Why do you think all news programmes are half an hour? They're not.
I'm just saying, how much of that do we actually need to know about?
But we don't need to know about any news. I mean, outside sort of dangerous situations, it's interesting. It's entertainment. People want to be aware. People want to be hooked up. I mean, I don't, you know, watch the news much or read papers. But it's funny, when I'm away, I do. I suppose it's because you want to feel connected with what's yours. It's that feeling of being part of society, isn't it?
No, but there's places, say like there's places where they don't have telly, right? And they're not watching the news. They're still getting on with life.
Yes, they are.
And they're bogged down with their own problems, which is the way it should be. So, like at the moment, I've got a leak in the bathroom. Right?
Have you?
It's doing me head in. So, I put the telly on to get away from all that. And you put the news on, they go, oh, there's a, you know, bad weather in what's it? You go, oh, don't tell me that as well. I like it when you hear about inventions that are coming out, or, you know, stuff they're doing in science.
But you told me the other day that you thought everything that needs to be invented has been invented. Something they said in 1900. But so what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they are sort of playing around now. Like they've said they've made like a heart now that can be bunged into a body if yours isn't working and keep you going.
But why is a heart that you can bung into someone to save their life? Why is that a bad thing?
Just because it's another thing, isn't it? That's we're meant to die from the year dot. Things live. You have your bit. You knock about, and then you die. If you're going to live forever, how do you plan stuff? Right? That's the way I look at it.
Sure.
You sort of go.
How big would your diary be?
Well, that diary would become intimidating, wouldn't it?
This is what I'm saying.
You have to fill that in for the rest of eternity.
And you get bored. You get bored with living forever. You know.
But I agree with you.
You get bored of people. You'd have to keep making new mates, wouldn't you? Because you'd have discussed everything by the time you're about 110.
110?
So it's kind of like...
Carl, you have the same concepts that you worked out and decided that were true at about 10, I think.
I look at life like a big book. Like a big book.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right? And, you know, sometimes you get halfway through it and you go, even though I've been enjoying it, I've had enough. Give us another book.
No. Your metaphor, analogy, whatever you're trying to create there, falls down with "let's have another book."
Yeah.
No. You can either opt out of life or stick with it till the end. You can't go, be someone else now. You can't do that. I know you think you can, and I think in your world you can, you possibly be injected into an old woman's head when you've had enough, and you come out a little baby.
What I mean is, at the moment, my life, I'm going to live to 74, 75, right?
right.
So yeah, I'm probably on page, what am I on? A book that's got about 200...
This is painful, Steve. This is really painful. Go on, sorry, carry on.
I'm on, I save my book's got 300 pages in it.
Yeah.
A few pictures and that.
It's a picture book. That's the great thing about Carl's life. It's a book for children.
It's a pop-up book, and it just, every page he pops in, he goes, all right.
I'm probably on like page about 170.
Yeah.
He's going to die at 74. He's reading a book with a few pictures in with 300 pages, and he's on 170. Go on then.
So, right, if the book was too thick, right, and there was loads more pages...
Let me tell you, this book is way too thick.
Yeah. If the book was more thick, yeah.
The book could not be thicker.
If there was loads more pages left, I'd go, I can't be bothered reading on.
Right. Okay, let him finish the
He must have
analogy.
known that when he saw the book.
You've got to finish this analogy,
Right.
otherwise we're going to be here all
Listen,
night.
he must have known how many pages there were when he got the book out of the library.
Yeah, but the way they write books, they paint in pictures more at the beginning, you're going, this is good. And then it gets a bit boring as it goes on, doesn't it?
Okay, well that works. So you're saying that you were young...
No, it doesn't work.
Well,
Well,
no,
you just
but-
accepted
no.
that that's what all books are like.
No, but there's a little bit of poetry in that, because he's actually saying that when he was young, his whole life was ahead of him. He couldn't wait the whole world, the promise that he was given of this world, and now he's a bit jaded and he's more cynical, and he realises that the world hasn't got as much to offer him as he thought it was. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Liar.
Well, Rick, you're not the only one who's been away. I know you've been off working, but I, at long last, have taken a bit of leisure time.
Go on.
And you've probably heard of the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. Only one of the hottest, events in the world calendar.
yeah.
Imagine me down there.
Oh,
Rio,
God.
you can imagine, did not know what hit it.
Oh, God almighty. Imagine, were you like Paul the Party Animal Parker?
He would not have been able to keep up if he was with me.
God, what did you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, let me tell you right now. Day 1, I almost drowned. Day 2, I got a foot infection and spent the day in the hospital. And the rest of the time, I had diarrhea. So that was a hell of a time.
Carnival.
Yeah. I did. I was able to watch some of the carnival on TV,
Oh,
and it
right.
looked brilliant. It looked
Did it?
amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult to make out because the TV wasn't actually in my room. Because in an effort to save money, I wasn't staying in a hotel. I was staying with a bunch of other people in some kind of like someone's flat that they let out, and so I had to watch the TV like from my window, watching a neighbour's TV. And of course, when they change the channel, often during the juicy bits, I couldn't see anything. And but they look really good. I'm bunged up at the moment just so I can get through the show. But I've just been on a 12-hour flight, and it is terrifying being on a flight when you know that any moment you could go. Because the problem is sometimes the toilet's free, and sometimes then you got to queue up. And the worst bit is that sort of half an hour just before you land, when they say the toilets are out of bounds now. I tell you, I went twice before that in quick succession. The woman sat next to the toilet. She didn't know what was going on, the noises and stuff in there, and I was really panicky.
Oh, Christ.
And so of course then on the whole flight, as we're landing, I'm really petrified because I'm thinking I packed a pair of underpants and jeans in my bag in my holdall just in case it all went. And I was really, because I hate flying anyway, and I hate landing because it's the most terrifying moment of the journey. Then it really was rumbling, and I was thinking I got to get out of here. Of course, you know when you're in a hurry, everything makes you angry. The little old lady in front of me who's just hobbling along off the gangplank, go away!
Yeah.
Just really annoying.
With your bad hips and your bad
and your
legs.
Zimmer frame.
I know you've been through a war, but get out of my way.
Yeah. And just anyone who kind of even passes you, and so I managed to get there just in time, got into and it all went off. Man alive, it was grim. But that was not anything compared with the first couple of days, because the first day I went for a walk, and of course Ipanema Beach is famous. I mean, obviously The Girl from Ipanema, one of the most famous songs in the world, and Ipanema Beach is famous for just the beautiful, beautiful people that gather there, and it is extraordinary. I mean, the people are remarkable. There's so many beautiful women in Rio, it made me angry. I was angry that these women were so attractive and that, you know, none of them were even looking at me. So, but anyway, I'm on the beach because I was shopping and I needed a wee. Right, and we went for a quick impromptu swim, and I thought, oh, we in the sea.
Just think of him on this beach, right, with diarrhea.
Well, I'm wearing great big long shorts because I'm not going to try and compete with these boys because they are.
And you are, could I say this, the whitest man
Yeah.
I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, with his shirt off, you can see his heart like a newborn fish.
Well, this is the thing. As I went into the sea to have a wee, there was a discussion about this.
As I went into the sea to have a wee.
Yeah, well, I was desperate for a toilet, and I was shopping, so I thought, well, I'm never going to make it back to the hotel, so I'll go in the sea and have a little swim and
Just
swim.
I see him straining, just like a cat in a litter tray.
See, there was a discussion about this because I'm very much of the opinion that you should take your trunks down, and some people, some of my friends are saying, just do it in your trunks and let the sea just wash it away.
What a hell of a carnival.
And I think I'm against that. I've always been against that in swimming pools, everything, you know. So I think,
I'm against pissing in swimming pools, full stop. It doesn't matter whether you do get in, take your trunks down or don't piss in
what about
swimming
in the
pool.
sea?
Yeah, well, fine, yeah.
Fine, okay, right, so-
Fish do it,
So anyway, so I'm in the sea trying to urinate, and I kneeled because I'm obviously very tall, so it's tricky to get deep enough for the water to mask what you're up to. So I tried to kneel down in the water, right, and I got John Thomas out, but then the water swept out again and just left me on the beach. But luckily my back was to everyone, so no one saw. I
can't think of a funnier sight than Steve Merchant on his knees with his little John Thomas out. I don't know how big it is, I've never seen it. Well, I mean, I imagine this in proportion to the rest of you, is it?
I
No?
wish. This all I'll say is I've been a little shortchanged. But so then I got up and I waded a bit deeper in, right? And now I was trying. I got it out. But what I didn't realise is that the waves just off the beach are really just uncontrollable. You never know what's going to happen. So one minute they're calm, and the next minute they're crazy like a tsunami. So suddenly I see this giant wave coming towards me, crashing towards me, and I got the cock out and everything, and it grabs this wave, comes over me, and lifts me up, and flips me up in the water, right? And I'm floundering around. I can't see anything because, of course, I had to take my glasses off to go in the sea. Because I didn't want to lose them.
Oh God!
So I floundering around, and I'm genuinely getting scared because as I try to get into shore, the wave just pulls me back again. So I'm waving to my friends on the beach, but what
everything.
Well, what I don't realise is that because I'm not wearing my glasses, I don't realise that I've been dragged along the beach some way, and I'm not actually waving to my friends. So there's like a bunch of these beautiful women on Ipanema Beach watching a pasty white man waving with his cock out. And what annoyed me was my friends were laughing. And that
Steve,
really angers
if
me.
I'd have been there, I would have burst.
But why wouldn't you have come running? Would you have come running in and helped me?
Not with your knob out.
What? So even though I was screaming and
I'd
shouting?
have thrown a rope or something, or a dinghy or something. There's no way I'd have. I couldn't have saved you with your glasses off and your knob out. If I ever save you, I want you to be fully dressed with your glasses on.
So you'd have just let me go. That would have been what you'd said to my parents. He had his knob out and his glasses off. There was no way I was
I
gonna.
can't think of a funnier sight. Oh. He's running it down again.
Yeah, this is where we read extracts from Carl's diary. We've had to wrestle it from him. He's never happy, but you know that's the way it goes when you're doing a show as popular as this. And I'm going straight now to this entry. My mum phoned and said that my Auntie Nora, classic Auntie Nora, wanted me to look on the internet to find out what the weather will be like in Spain at the end of November. I don't know where she gets her money from. 2 months ago she was asking me dad how much it would be to get her back garden astroturfed because she's sick and tired of the grass getting out of
What
bed.
do you want to do? Start a football team? What do you want to back garden astroturf?
She likes the sort of green look, but she doesn't like the headache that comes with it, so she's just looking into getting that false grass put in there.
Brilliant.
Don't know how much it is. But
Went round to Ricky's and had some chicken curry that Ricky's girlfriend Jane had made. Ricky and Jane were going on holiday for a few days and had arranged for Glyn to come in and make sure the cat was okay while they were away. I'm sick of that cat. I was surprised that they hadn't paid for the little shit to go away with them on first class. Blimey, getting a bit vitriolic in the
Why doesn't he like the fact that I've got a cat and I love the cat?
It's just everything in that house that you've got gets sort of special treatment, and it's a cat. And
What do you mean you get special treatment?
Sometimes
We put food down for it, and sometimes it gets on our lap and we stroke it.
You don't just stroke it,
we're
you
not saying
massage it. You massage its back, you go, no, you're stressed out.
Well, no,
You're
it's
stressed
good.
out."
No, I'm not saying you stressed out. At no point did I say you stressed out. You said, what the fuck are you doing for? Is it stressed out or something? I like touching my cat.
To be honest with you, I don't like Ricky's cat.
Oh, I can't believe
Because every time I go around there, it goes straight from the ghoulies.
Yeah, he probably seen you in the sea and thought, well, if he's waving it about, I'll have a bit of that.
But it's like the lizard thing you've got. It's just sat there. You bought a big box, right, to be in.
Right,
And
one,
that's
it's a
what-
salamander, so it's an amphibian. It's
Yeah.
not a box, it's a big Bavarian.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
And
is,
as it and if you're going to criticise someone for just sitting there, having a round head and doing nothing with its life, people who live in glass houses,
No,
we've done this one.
Do you know what gets me though, right, Steve? When I was there, I was looking at it and I thought, is it dead? Right, because he's just sat there. Like,
And it was thinking exactly the same fucking
he's sat
thing.
there, not moving, right? And then on the top of the box is like a box full of crickets and stuff. That's it. It's its food.
Yeah.
Right? But they were more active than the thing that it was going to feed. Get rid of the lizard. Keep them in there. More entertaining. Don't understand it.
A few months back, a girl who was having a kid showed me one of them scans of the kid that was in her. That's science gone mad, innit? I couldn't think of anything nice to say, as it looked like a frog.
Do you know why we've got to that point? Why have we got to see something that young? Why?
Because people can keep an eye on the progress of the baby in the womb.
Yeah, but why are they printing it out and stuff? Surely that's for a doctor to see.
Well, that's just an added bonus for people who are interested in such
Well, that's
things.
like saying, why do you take pictures of anything?
No, because normally pictures are like, you in Brazil, sat in the sea or whatever. You'd go, oh yeah, I remember that day, it was a good day or whatever. But
Wasn't.
it's just kind of like, why have you got to see something? You might as well.
Well,
go to the next-
listen, why have you got to see something that small? So why would you take a picture of Steve in the sea?
No, but what I mean is, why? At what point are we going to stop? Are we going to start sort of X-raying the fella's testicles and saying, well, there it is at a really young age? Well, where are we going to stop?
It's just horses for courses, isn't it? Some people like to have a record of their baby in the room. They like to show their baby. They're excited about it.
They sit down and they show the friends the slideshow. That's
you go.
the birth. Oh, that's the conception. Oh, look, Ron's going a bit mad there, isn't he?
But why do I need to see this? This is what I'm saying. It was an awkward situation because she was happy with it. I was like, oh God. You know what I mean? It was an odd-looking thing. I couldn't say, oh, it looks like you, because that would be a diss.
Oh, Christ!
Met Suzanne at Euston Station. I said I would sort out the tea tonight, so I called the curry house. The fella couldn't understand me. I asked for 2 poppadoms. He kept saying, how many? I kept saying 2. He still couldn't understand. I said 1 more than 1. He understood. When we picked up the food and took it home, there were 5 poppadoms in the bag.
Oh, God!
Oh, God. There is a restaurant somewhere that sells knobs to eat.
No, there's not.
There is.
No, there's not.
No, there is.
It says that women can't eat too many of them, and if you want a seal's knob for dinner, you have to book in advance.
Right, it's gobbledygook. This is the ramblings of a madman again.
It's a trend, he writes. It won't last long. It'll be like hummus.
But hummus, when did that happen?
What do you mean it's still going? It's a Greek traditional food.
I know, but there's a restaurant down the road that's all they do. That isn't a proper meal. That's a side order, isn't it? That's like having a restaurant just flogging tomato ketchup. Hummus isn't a meal. They don't even try and kid you and get you in and flog you just hummus. They actually say it's hummus today. Not gonna work. Be shut down within a month.
Called Ricky and asked what the difference is between the mind and the brain.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
a hell of a phone call
Yeah,
to get.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Ricky did explain, but I can't remember what he said. I wondered at what age you are when the mind kicks in. Okay. Ricky changed the subject and said there is an island called Spider Island. There's nothing but spiders on it. A bloke went to visit the island and said there was 1,000 types of spider in one tree. Excited by
I
that?
didn't tell you that.
No, I looked it up after talking to you.
Oh, right. Is that true?
Yeah, they just said there's loads of them.
What do you think about that? What do you think of an island that's just full of spiders?
It's a bit daft, isn't it?
What do you think they should do then?
I don't know, because you need spiders. I don't know what they do, but they say a world without spiders, like, wouldn't be good.
Who says that?
I don't know, someone. But they sort of do something. There's something about if you did get rid of them all, it would have an effect.
Well, of course it would. Get rid of anything, it would have an effect.
Not everything, though. Like I've said, jellyfish and what have you.
Well, no.
The world wouldn't change.
Well, it would.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, it would, because it's part of an ecosystem, so they're something's food, aren't they?
No, but it's 97% water or something.
Yeah.
So how much are they doing? Just give them another 3%, make them water. And that's more useful.
Give them another 3% and make them water. Oh God.
The rain ain't stopped. The old woman with the bent neck. Now, we've not heard about the old woman with the bent neck before. She's a whole new character.
What's this? Incredible.
She's really old.
And she's got a bent neck, yeah, but tell us something else.
I don't know what's up with her, but her head sort of comes out of here.
No, it's radio. They can't see what you're doing.
It comes out of her chest. So from behind, it looks like she hasn't got an head. It's really weird, right? I mean, she's old, and I don't know what's happened. Just Suzanne said it's sad, and her bones have sort of bent up or something, or maybe she carried something heavy when she was younger
on her head.
And I don't know. It's sad and everything.
Yeah.
But she's she's wandering up and down the street. Always looks fed up. But you can see her. You have to sort of bend down a little bit. But her head's just. I thought I told you about.
She finds a lot of change.
Yeah, I said, yeah.
Well, as you write in the diary, the old woman with the bent neck is struggling in the weather. The rain must be running down her back. Don't know why she went out in this weather. Me back's doing me head in today. It does this every time the weather turns a bit grim. Ever since I tried to kick me height. Oh, remember that? We've heard this before. Kicked me height and landed on me arse. Was going to treat Suzanne to a trip to the pictures to see Breakback Mountain, but then remembered there is a programme on about Two-Headed Kid tonight.
What two-headed kid?
It's just a two-headed kid knocking about. And I just wanted to watch that.
What do you mean, a two-headed kid?
It was something on the telly. I only saw the beginning of it. I thought, oh, it seems a bit heavy, this.
The programme about the kid with two heads was a bit sad. They never go into the good sides of these stories. I asked Suzanne what happens if they sit an exam. She said she didn't know.
So, Rockbusters, you gave out 3 clues last week. Have we got a winner?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this was the first person to email in, but you pointed something out, didn't you? That we're going to do it this week, the first person, but we think maybe it shouldn't be the first person because some people are up in the world when this comes up and some people aren't up in the world. So we're just going to pick one at random next week. So you've got the whole week, but we're going to pick one at random. But this is the first one we got with all the right answers.
The first one with the right answers, yeah.
Yeah. So well, give us the clues and the answers.
All right. So last week's clues, there was 3 of them. I'll give you initial of an artist or a band and a cryptic clue.
Yeah.
You work it out, you email it in, you win a signed picture and that. First one was, well, I don't want a house that far away from the water. I want to be right on top of it.
Go on.
Right, so that was B.
Yeah.
That's, that was Beyonce. Beyonce. Like, like a cryptic thing. You got that? Second one.
I understand.
Beyonce.
That part of my leg is English. The initial was B. That was Britney. Right?
Britney.
Yeah, so it's like British. Britney.
But so you're just taking the one half of her name, are you now?
Well, she's known as that now. I think she's known more as
fine.
More as Britney than Britney Spears. They don't really call her that anymore.
Yeah.
Also, British isn't the same as English.
Yeah, I know. I realised that, but it was too late.
Brilliant. That's what you're up against.
Just like that Ollie Wants to Be Millionaire.
The last one was the initials were KW.
Yeah.
And the clue was the fitness teacher has got a speech impediment, right? So you've got to sort of think about that. You've got to think about a fitness teacher.
Yeah.
He's working out and that.
Yeah. But
he's got a speech impediment. So when it like comes to like.
Well, no, you didn't say all this in the clue. So.
But no, but it was just that one was Kanye West. right?
Kanye West.
So I'm just saying,
Why
like,
do you
know,
think this teacher say Kanye West?
because he's got a speech impediment and he's been working them out. They've built up a sweat, and he's like, right.
Well, no, you
everyone-
didn't say all that, so it doesn't matter.
But even if that is the case,
So
what
it's
is he saying?
He's,
That's
he's saying, all right, can we rest now?
as in, can we rest now?
Yeah, just kind of because they say that at the end. It's like, right, everybody.
So he's got a speech impediment, he's very, very camp, and he's adding words. Okay, but apart from that, it works perfectly.
So
That is bollocks, you're an idiot.
So that was the first three.
Who
And,
won?
It was Gwymlyn Howe Jones.
Right, let me have a look at that name. There's no such name as Gwymlyn. What is Gwymlyn?
Is it something from Lord of the Rings?
Gwillem Hugh Jones. Okay, and a signed photo of us is on the way
Yeah.
to him.
Lucky him.
I don't know why he wants that, but well done, he got the clue. I don't know if that's a good thing or not to get the clues, but there it is. Well, there you go. So we're going to do some clues for next week?
Yeah, right. Again, same sort of system. 3 of them email in, and we'll pick one at random. Right. First one. The initials RP.
Right?
Right. And the cryptic clue.
Not cryptic, go on.
Steal that woman's flower. Right. If you're gonna like nick a.
Well, no, it's different now. What is it? If it's a
No,
cryptic clue...
let him finish it.
Okay, what is the clue?
Flower.
What is the clue and stick to it?
Steal that woman's flower.
Fine. Okay.
RP.
Right, okay.
Right. Second one. B.
Is that the clue or the initial?
B is the initial, right? And cryptic clue. Keep whacking the cooker with a stick. What is it? It's a band or an artist. They kept whacking the cooker with some sort of.
What is it? Keep or
stick.
kept? What's it? If it's a cryptic clue, everything matters. So.
Well, it doesn't really. Just think about whacking.
Well, no. Give us the clue again.
Just,
Okay.
just whack the cooker.
No.
with
What
some
is the
sort
clue?
of
Do the clue.
stick.
Right. No. Wait. The initial is B, and the clue is.
Keep whacking the cooker with a stick.
Right. Fine.
But it doesn't have to be a stick, though. It
Well,
could
no,
be like an iron. It could be any sort of.
Well, okay then. Let's do the clue again. Then. Okay. So the initial's B. What's the clue?
Keep whacking the cooker.
Fine.
The last one, the initial M, and then the clue is Venice. It's all water, isn't it? Right? How would you describe it? Right? When
Oh Jesus Christ! Is this the one?
Let him finish the clue! I want to go home, I haven't slept, I just come back from Rio!
He might never finish the clue. It keeps going. It's full of water. Oh, well, you don't need a stick, do you? Use your hand if you want. Well, no, it's B. No. I mean, he might never finish.
Oh,
Right.
no, if you're going to interrupt him.
What's the initial?
M.
What's the clue?
Venice.
Mm.
It's all water. There's hardly any land, so how would you describe it?
Okay.
I think that sort of works. M is the artist or a band. Email in podcast@rickygervais.com, and we'll pick one at random. Win some stuff.
Well, that's the end of episode 2 in this second series of the Ricky Gervais Show. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, Oi, and
Sorry, I just want to explain why that's a greeting in Brazil.
is it?
When you see someone, hey!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't just a me.
Why's your knob out when you're shouting at waving
Yeah,
at
that's
me?
why I did it. You see what was going on?
I'm Carl Pilkington.
Alright.
Audible hopes you've enjoyed this program. This is Audible.
Hello, welcome to the third in this new series of the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, hello, and Carl Pilkington.
Alright.
We've had loads of emails, thank you for those. Sorry we can't reply to them all personally, but keep them coming, some interesting ones. There's one in particular here, from a guy who says, I see there is less swearing now you're charging for the podcast. Dumbing down already, ?
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
I don't know how that's dumbing down.
Well, no, not swearing. That's interesting. Not swearing is dumbing down, and also the fact that he's complaining that we're not swearing enough.
Yeah.
What sort of a cunt would bother writing that email?
I don't know, mate. I don't know, but I know he's just some kind of fucking cocksucker.
What have you got, Annie?
Well, now of course, a couple of weeks back you gave the rather long-winded but fascinating sort of brain teaser, conundrum, philosophical question about the heaven and hell doors. And there's been a number of responses to
I know.
Explain your error.
Well, I got it. I realised as soon as we put it out there that I should have said assume no prior knowledge. Otherwise, you can just say hold up a cat and say, "Is this a dog?" Or you can say, "What's my name?" But they don't know anything about you. That's the thing. They only know about themselves, and I should have said that.
Yeah. So are you willing to just now say that you've embarrassed yourself?
I've embarrassed myself. I should have said, it's got to be about. It's only about the. You can ask questions.
Well, do you know what? It's a bigger man than many that can admit that.
Or a man that's banged to rights and obviously caught out and has no choice.
Well, it's quite interesting to wade through the emails and find out the kind of people that are listening, get a sense of the different listeners. And I know you, Rick, have met some of the big celebrity names that have listened to the show, and it's sort of because you've actually met them. But it's now we've got celebrities who are just emailing in, just letting us know. This one is from a guy called Aaron. He says, "My name's Aaron Douglas, and I play Chief Tyrol on TV's Battlestar Galactica."
Oh, right.
And he listens to the show in his trailer. Now, I don't watch Battlestar Galactica. I hear it's very good.
Yeah,
but it's nice to know that.
I don't watch it. I don't watch any of those things, but that's.
It's nice that Chief Tyrol, and for those of you that watch Battlestar Galactica, I'm sure that means something. But nice that he got in touch. But I'm just thinking, who would you, in an ideal world, Rick, who would be your ideal listener, a celebrity listener?
Well, it's not so much celebrities for me. I like the idea that captains of industry or scientists or people actually doing something worthwhile are listening. That's what excites me, because they hear. We've had a couple of emails from people who are doing, PhDs and psychologists and that excites me more. That these academics are listening. I mean, who's the weirdest person you think that who should have more time on their hands? Stephen Hawking. Imagine Stephen Hawking listening to this show. He's putting together the formulation for the universe, but he's going to listen to a little bit of monkey news from Carl Pilkington.
Imagine Stephen Hawking emailing us at podcast@rickygervais.com. I mean, that would just blow our minds, wouldn't it? He's got time to do that. That he's got the inclination to bother doing that.
He's always online though, isn't he? He's always hooked up.
Is he?
Well, he's always got that little computer on. Why not? Sure, that's one of the perks. You can just bung an email out whenever. I'm not having a go. That's what I'm thinking. He's sat there with his little computer. Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, I'd probably like to have a chat with him about space and that, because I can't get my head around it.
Carl, you can't get your head round frozen foods. What a chance are you going to have with the universe?
No, but just putting stuff out there, it freaks me out when I'm lying there in bed at night and I think about how this world. On Friday, right, I was in bed with Suzanne and I said, could the world fall? Right?
It's like something from Chicken Licken.
Wow, that's a hell of a bit of pillow talk, that.
Isn't foreplay hell? Oh God!
But I'd like to sort of have a chat with him, because I reckon he could put it in a way that I could understand it.
Oh, I wish an Inuit was listening.
Did I not tell you this? We had an email from an Inuit.
Really?
Yeah. I thought I'd mentioned this. Have we not mentioned this before?
No.
No, it was an email from a guy who said, I don't think he lives in Canada, I think, or somewhere else. I apologise if I'm getting that wrong. But I think he said he was half Inuit, and he listens to the show.
Half Inuit? See, that's interesting, because I think of them as so remote. I know I'm probably wrong now, but I think of those as so remote that I can't think where they're meeting people who aren't
Inuit. Yeah.
Oh, and who's going, other societies are going, I'll tell you what, I'm fed up, there's no action here, I'm going to the frozen tundra, I'm bound to meet someone there.
Yeah.
Where do they meet? Do they do online dating?
Probably a lot of online stuff.
What do you put as hobbies? Fishing?
Yeah. Skinning stuff.
Skinning stuff? Yeah. What stuff to skin?
Seals.
Seals. Yeah, sure. That's about it, isn't it?
Why are they hanging about round there? Why are seals going, do you know what, it's cold, I'm sick of it here. It's windy all the time, what have you, and I'm getting a club on the head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're meant to be quite bright in terms of animals and that, aren't they? Yeah. So why are they knocking about them parts?
I don't know.
Say, like, if seals died out, right? Would that be a problem?
We've done this.
We've been through this before.
Everything has a knock-on effect.
Even a seal, that's sort of in between something already. It's between a fish and a dog, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say dog. It's not between a fish and a dog. What do you think evolution does? Fish to
I'll never
dog.
understand it. Maybe we
What
should
do you
talk
mean
about it.
it's between a fish and a dog?
I'm just saying it's.
It was a perfectly evolved mammal that re-entered the water, I imagine, and then got streamlined and. I mean, it's between a fish and a dog.
But why not have one and the other? Why not have, like, you've got a dog, you've got a fish.
No, it's
anything
not
in the
between
middle,
a fish and a dog. It's not between a fish and a dog. I don't know what between means. I don't know what...
This is it again about saving everything all the time. What is it doing? What's he doing? Everyone's feeling sorry for him all the time. Save the seal and all that. What's it doing? Why are we saving it? Let's just ask that question. What's it doing?
I don't know what to say. It's between a fish and a dog.
That bloke, the Eskimo who emailed in, would he be in a igloo thing?
Probably not, no.
Well, no, not. I mean, I don't think many igloos have got internet capabilities. I don't know. I don't want to slag them
But
off.
why aren't we saving them? Why aren't we?
Maybe there's sort of-
When you build it, leave a little hole.
Yeah.
That's where the...
But there's kind of igloo internet cafes. They
they go there, they all go to one igloo, yeah.
But why are they being left alone